right now, the government shutdown doesn't really seem to have much economic impact. But I'll tell you what, Brian, since this started, I've been driving back and forth to work, and it's taking a lot less time. People are not on the roads as much. They're starting to change their plans. There's more stories about personal hardship and slowdown in selling. You're going to see less government business, travel, conventions, things like that eventually trickle through. It has a real economic and also a personal impact. But keep in mind that a slightly slowing GDP, 0.25%, what that might also do is take the pressure off of the Fed, which is public enemy #1 to this market. So in a very odd way for investors, bad news, once again, can be good news. I wouldn't sell simply because we have a government shutdown. Human tragedy, personal disappointments aside, not always so bad for stocks to slow the economy down.
At what point do we begin to worry about the market, though? 21 days, 30 days. What if this goes for, I doubt it would go for months, but what happens if this goes on into a month-long shutdown? Then do we worry?
Well, we've never been there, and I think the bigger worry I would have if that is happening is that would reflect an absolute and total breakdown between our governing legislators. I mean, what's happening now is just such a standoff. And what does that symbolize for the other things we actually need or want? Are we going to get anything done in 2 years? Is infrastructure just a pipe dream? Because nobody wants to give President Trump a victory. He seems to be very intransigent himself. So the bigger worries I have is Washington totally dysfunctional, and what would that mean for markets?
Yeah, and I think you nailed it on the head right there, which is that there's all these things that we still want, right? We drive on the roads on the Beltway and, your hubcaps popping off because there's so many potholes. We want infrastructure. We need it. The market would like to see it. But it's like we just started this new Congress, and already there's so much animosity. The odds of anything big getting done do seem, at least from this side of the desk, Mark, very low.
Well, very low, but let's keep in mind what divided government means. It usually has been good for stocks, and every year after a midterm election since the 1940s has been positive for stocks. So somehow, as crazy as it sounds, divided government and the dysfunction out of Washington usually comes around. I wouldn't just throw out hope that it's going to be as catastrophic as the headlines look, because we do have some history on our side, and anecdotally, especially with valuations at this point for stocks and a reasonably strong U.S. economy, a very strong U.S. consumer, certainly with these wage numbers, I think we have reasons for hope despite the dysfunction.